Today we begin an incredibly difficult journey on my first ever Iron Man account with one of the biggest restrictions possible to overcome a boss that has requirements that contradict our restrictions and prove that you don't have to follow RuneScape's traditional training paths to get where you want to be. Let me introduce you to our character, Epsillon Born, the living embodiment of no skill just kill, in which we are not able to do any gathering skills at all and must obtain all items we get from either mobs, shops or doing current events. But what makes this journey that Epsillon has decided, in his infinite wisdom of course, is to show the skillers their place by taking down Croesus, which, for those of you that don't realise, is the gathering skill boss, requiring level 80 in construction, fishing, hunter, mining and woodcutting. 4 of these skills we cannot train by traditional means, and the only one that we can is construction, because we can manage to get log drops and stuff like that we can use to actually get our construction level up. But yeah, the others, we're going to have to find some workarounds and find some alternative methods, so this is going to be one of the most interesting challenges I've ever done, and it will take a ton of time to pull off. So without further ado, let's begin. So of course we start off in Berthorpe, and one of the biggest things that we're going to have to use throughout this account is combat to be able to get ourselves the drops, to be able to do all of the skills that we want to do and fast track our way through some of the quests. Now, one of the biggest things that we can utilize in this journey is to be able to do quests that give us XP in our certain kind of skills that we're going to need in terms of gathering, because we can't actually do the physical skills themselves, and there's going to be a few other things that we can utilize to level up our skills to be able to complete quests and to overcome some of the barriers that are going to stop us from being able to do some of the content in the game, and of course getting ourselves towards that level 80 in fishing, hunter, mining and woodcutting, which we can't actually do unless we do some of these things that we're going to have to require. So without that being said, of course I decided to do a little bit of combat training at the beginning, and one of the easiest ways of doing that is in the Troll Cave just north of Berthorpe, and you know, it's your traditional standard place to level up your combat skills at the beginning of your account. And when you're an Iron Man, they give you lots of nice starting off items from their drops when you're a member. You're getting all kinds of herbs and stuff like that, which is great for the later game, and of course being able to get in kind of lower level skills, leveled up things like herb lore, and of course being able to train up a little bit of prayer at the same time, because you get given bones which you can do alongside of actually combat training at the same time. Obviously we don't have a bone crusher to be able to instantly kind of bury these or whatever, or for the prayer experience, so we're going to have to do it manually, which is something maybe we can work on in the future of the account, but right now we don't have that, so we're going to have to do everything manually, which is not ideal. But at the same time, we decided to do this challenge for the whole point of making things complicated and making it a hell for me to play RuneScape, which should be quite interesting. But not only that, when we were going through, obviously leveling up attack, strength and defense kind of crucial for generically everything in the game, or at least combat style wise, because we want to be able to equip armor in the various different kind of combat styles. Of course we have necromancy in the game, and we want to be able to level that up whilst not taking a ton of damage, and necromancy being one of the greatest kind of combat styles at the moment, and hopefully we'll be able to work our way towards that in the later game. But at the minute, because we don't have the option to realistically take out a lot of the bosses and to be able to take out a lot of the mobs, the slayer mobs and stuff like that we currently have, it's going to make being able to get all of the stuff for necromancy and all of the combat styles a lot more difficult. So getting those early levels is going to open up the game, and we'll be able to explore a variety of different things alongside that we can get those drops, we can earn that little bit of early game GP and work towards getting ourselves to some of the other quest requirements and stuff like that will open up other avenues for us to earn GP, which is one of the biggest things I've found, at least currently, on this account, that is stopping us from being able to progress as quickly as maybe you'd like, because you're limited by what you can actually get. You don't have access to the GE because it's an Iron Man account. You also don't have access to being able to kind of craft up a lot of the stuff. Smithing currently we don't really have any way of leveling up or getting the copper ore very easily in decent quantities at the moment, but of course we can do that when we level up our combat and can start taking out higher level mobs, which at the moment isn't possible. So what is the best way of leveling up your combat stats really quickly in an Iron Man account? Well, one of the best ways is to, of course, complete quests. And so by leveling up our attack, strength and defense, we're working our way towards completing the waterfall quest, which doesn't require anything and essentially only requires you to have runes. So obviously what we did is we camped at the trolls, we got our increased defense and attack, as well as farming up some food. The food really nice from these trolls, at least at the beginning, because at the end of the day I can't do any fishing to be able to get any kind of fish that we can then cook. So of course we can do fire making, but we require the actual wood, and of course we can do cooking, but we just don't have anything to cook. So once again, it's going to be a case of finding out the unique mobs that we need to use throughout our journey to be able to kill them, and then use those to train up some of the other kind of secondary skills, if you want to call them, which are fire making, cooking, stuff like that for requirements in quests later on down the line. So obviously along the way, burying up those bones, got a few early prayer levels as we said. And as we leveled up our melee, we needed to obtain some better weapons. Now, instantly, given that I haven't played an Iron Man account before, I soon realised that you do run into GP problems where I just genuinely didn't have any GP, and there's not that many shops available to us at the moment that we can sell our stuff to, or at least get enough of the good drops to be able to sell them for a decent amount of GP, and therefore buy stuff from the shops that we have available. So what's the best thing to do right now is to actually go and kill creatures that we have available for a little bit of GP, but one of the best ways is to be able to complete the strongholds of security, as this gives yourself 10k coins, and this was really nice at the beginning because then we can go and we buy a weapon from the Varrock weapon store. You know, it's typical. We went through, did all of the lodestones, etc., to be able to get through the various different places that we need to on the account a little bit quicker, and then once we've done that, we actually go back to the trolls to be able to improve our defense and stuff like that, so that we can take a few more hits. Obviously we don't have full armor in this account yet, and we're going to have to work towards that later on. But after doing that, we then do the initial quest for necromancy. So this is something that is obviously something we're going to do in the future. I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a break from killing trolls for a while and just do the necromancy quest. So we did the initial one, and we'll come back to that later on as we go through the account. But it was a nice thing to do at the beginning and kind of shifted it up a little bit. Anyway, however, we needed to pick up some runes at the moment. So instead of spending our GP, because I wanted to keep it, there's a few different mobs and there's certainly ones that we could actually take out that will give us runes, so didn't want to waste a GP on that. Yes, I could have done it, maybe fast tracked it a little bit, but it's fine at this moment in time as we just went and killed a few goblins, got the runes that we require to be able to complete the quest, and then went through the quest steps. I did forget just how much damage you can take from some of the mobs without any armor and being such a low level, yeah, we died in one of the most shameful ways possible in the Tree Gnome dungeon during the quest, as there's just a ton of mobs that can all multi-attack you, and we had basically no food with us, and yeah, ended up dying. So decided to go back to the trolls, get a decent amount of food, and retry that step, and of course finally actually making our way and completing that bit to be able to pick up the key and then go through the door and etc. You guys know the waterfall quest by now, or if you don't, you can have a look at the quick guide, which is what I did. It's been so long since I've actually had to do it that, yeah, probably just completely forgot about it. Anyway, finally, I ended up getting it through the waterfall cave, so we went back to the waterfall quest, went through, did all of it, didn't have any issues actually going through that. And actually it was surprising that the Tree Gnome stronghold with all of the hill giants and stuff like that was the bit that actually ended up getting us taken out. But anyway, the waterfall cave, no issues, went through, completed the quest, and we were able to finally get ourselves a decent amount of levels in both attack and strength, and basically boosted our way up to 32 in both. And then from there, we were basically set on the account for the beginning, and it gives us a nice little starting place to work from on the account and move forward from here, being able to take out enemies easily and level up our defense quickly, etc. And of course then we can go and train defense a lot quicker in the trolls, and we managed to do that a little bit kind of off stream or off recording, and that's nice. And you'll see that in the next video, and we'll work towards doing that in the next video. And we've got some big levels in some of the skills using the Christmas event that's currently going on, and it's one of the nicest ways we can level up some of those additional secondary skills, which is really, really great. So stay tuned for that, subscribe to see the continuation of the series, and hopefully you like it, and I'll see you there.